Go ahead, Alex. You're better at explaining it than I am.
All right, Nancy. So this is our segment. It's a newer segment. We're working out the kinks of it, but it's called Balls and Strikes. And the idea is, so Vinny and I will go back and forth. We'll ask you a question. So like I'll ask you a question and you determine if it's a ball or a strike. You can answer either or, but the first one to a strikeout, either myself or Vinny, wins.
The first one to strike out wins?
Yeah, the first one to get a strikeout. Yep. So
to get a strikeout wins. Okay.
Yep. So like it's almost like it's like a quick round, quick questions.
Okay, let's try it.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead, Alex.
All right. So I'll lead it off. I'll lead it off.
I said if I don't like something, I'll let you know. Go ahead.
What would be your favorite baseball movie of all time to watch?
Okay. It has to be A League of Their Own. It just makes me laugh. If it's on, it just makes me laugh. Mm-hmm. I love Tom Hanks. How can you not, right? It's just so funny and so inspiring at the same time. So that's my answer.
Would you say the question was a ball or a strike?
I would say that is a strike.
Look at that, Vinny.
Good for you, Alex. Good for you.
All right. This is what I got to keep doing. So like Nancy, Vinny hasn't won at this yet. We've been doing a few interviews now, and Vinny has not won at this game. And I think my new like strategy is to just bring people on that just like me, and they'll always side with my question. So
Alex should win every time because he is the journalist and he is used to interviewing people. I'm still dipping my toe into it and getting used to doing it. So at this moment, he should keep beating me.
You guys are really, really doing a good job. I got to tell you, I like this chemistry. I like this combination. I love the two of you together.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Ask Alex about that. He might not say the same thing. Right, Alex? Huh?
Okay.
It depends. It depends on.
Who has the next pitch? Who has the next pitch?
Alex does.
Sorry, go ahead.
All right. So I'm ahead 0-1.
Okay.
I'm ahead 0-1. Ooh, Vinny, I have to go for this one.
Yep.
Sorry, I have to go. It's going to be an 0-2 in a second. You have 4 Emmys behind you, Nancy. Which is the most meaningful Emmy?
Actually, I have several more. I've been giving them to my mom.
Yeah, Alex.
Just to say that. Yes. I don't think one is more important than the other. They're all kind of special because they're for everything. One is for game telecast. One is for Yankees pregame host. One is for Yankees batting practice host. There are a few for the Nets and even for our social media. So they're all really special and they're all varied, but they're incredibly, incredibly meaningful, So I'm going to give that one a ball.
I like that a lot. Okay, I'll go now.
Call it a ball. I'm calling that one a ball.
What is one thing, if any, that you've had to learn how to do during the quarantine COVID period that when we go back to normal at some point that you would like to keep doing?
Very good question. Let's see. Being more mindful, and that for me means not just racing through my day, but thinking about it and thinking about my mom, and not that I don't anyway, but I'm really committed to listening to every word and not waiting to do my next thing. And I've become that way with almost everything that I'm doing, even if it's cleaning the house. So I think being in the moment and staying mindful and not running to the next thing. Strike.
So, all right, we've talked about during this interview how you got into your profession, but at what point, whether it being after you started being a broadcaster or whenever, did you know that you were going to be successful doing it?
Never thought I wouldn't be. As soon as I I was 19 years old and volunteering during school. The guys at the time at the local station were 40 something odd years old. They asked me to write a script. I think it was on college football. They wanted it to be 30 seconds. I would write copy and tell the story in 30 seconds. Then they would ask me to write something else. I was only writing in the early days. And I noticed that they were reading everything I wrote word per word on the air. I thought, I'm 19 years old and they're reading my copy as is. I must be good at this. So there's something here. And then the first time the forward-thinking general manager at the time put me on the air just to see how I do. And I could formulate the story in my head. It was already there. I knew which clips I was going to use on the ride back. And I'm still in school. I hadn't even finished yet. And I knew I had my brain worked properly for this business. And then when I went in front of the camera, I think what really iced it was I was reporting and I wanted to anchor. And the first time they let me anchor, these highlights came out of me like they'd always been there. And I could just talk all the way through it because I'd been watching sports, and ever since I was a little kid, I was planted in front of the TV with my father. So there was nothing I really didn't know. It's all inside and it was just coming out. So there's your answer. Strike.
All right. All right. So as you've grown as a broadcaster through your career, and we see more up and coming, like people who are trying to get into the business, what would be your advice to somebody who's listening this that's like 12 years old, girl or boy, whoever it may be? What would be your advice to them on how to do this job?
Well, I think I would approach it differently depending on the age of the youngster asking. For someone as young as 12 or 13, I would say just keep discovering what you love. And as you do that, you never know. You might get exposed to something you've not seen yet that might click for you. So don't be in a hurry to make decisions. Follow your career path, but be open to what may be coming in. I hadn't planned on being on TV, and look what happened. You know, that was not my original game plan. Yeah. So, and then once you're older and already starting on the road in this business, I would repeat what Bill McPhail said to me, which was to discover who you are and then become the best you can be at it. Strike.
Nancy.
That's big. That is big.
Alex,
this feels
so
good.
Sorry.
Good for me. I'm happy right now. we have two questions that we have to ask every single podcast. So Alex, you ask the first one.
All right, Nancy.
Okay.
One. Does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. You just pick.
Would you rather drink out of a plastic cup or a glass cup?
Oh, glass. Would anyone say plastic?
Yeah, quite a few, like a decent amount, maybe 20% of the guests say plastic.
No, glass. I even want a glass when I order a beer. So
I agree. All right. And then the most important position, or the most important question for me is, what is the best, not most important or anything, the best position in baseball?
The best.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what does the best mean to you? I'm thinking for Vinnie, it's first base. I just have a hunch. But my answer, you know, it's just, that's a tough one, because you would want to say pitcher, because obviously, you know, when it's a Garrett Cole on the mound, it is the pitcher, right? But if it's not Cole day, then it could be any given guy at any given time. So I think my answer to that would be the capabilities of the individual as opposed to the position.
Talk about not answering a question. The runaround right there. And that was impressive. You could tell
that's the way I see it. Because I'm thinking Aaron Judge changes the game, right? But if it's anyone else in right, it's not the same. So, yeah.
But if it's Mike Trout in right field,
well, then, hey, it's right field, right? See? So I had a good answer there, Vinnie. What are you saying?
I know you want to say first base, so we're just going to assume that that's what you were going to say. That's what I'm going to put in my notes. So you're still on the list for Guest of the Year nominees. That's good that I didn't have to take you off the list. But so I'm going to put down first base for you. You remain on the list.
well, I don't know, Vinny. She gave you the strikeout.
Do what you have to do.
I think Nancy's
Do what you have to do.
nominated. I think, unfortunately, you're no longer on the list for Guest of the Year since you gave Vinny the strikeout.
Come on, Alex. That's just not fair. That's just not right. I am on that list.
I agree. I agree 100%.
No sore losers in the house.
None at all. This is what happens when he loses.
Very good.
I'm a competitive person.
Yeah, me too. I may not look it, but I really am.
That's why you got to bring those skates back out, Nancy.
No, you got to know who you are. You got to know who you are.
That's right. And you be the best version of that person, right?
That's it. You got it.